So this is day number 1 of the $1,000 challenge. To be honest, I did not exactly start with $1,000, a little bit more. In the end, I'm up today $240 in realized profits and $30 in unrealized profits. Now, I did 3 trades today, and let's get into it, how they exactly went down by showing you the first 3 hours of my trading day. So when I look at my trade plan, this was the idea. So we have here this support area that is very clear. We are still pre-market, but what I want to see here pre-market is that this goes down with some volume. So I want to have some volume peaking up, and that gives me an indication how we can trend lower. So I'm just expecting it to break down at the 16 levels. That's a setup that I'm looking for. And in the meantime, I'm just checking stocks. Which stocks do I want to trade? Now, again, at this particular time, I did not have time to check the catalyst. What I'm looking for is here the price action. I'm first opening here the daily chart to check out, hey, is here some possible resistance and is this a key level of interest? Well, I can clearly see, hey, the daily chart, like here, we see some sort of resistance. This is a level of interest. We either can shoot up, but if buyers step in, then we will sell off. That is quite simple. So I'm looking at the daily chart. Now it's even more clear. We see here a clear resistance on the daily chart, very clear. Now there's 2 ways it can happen. Can we with volume shoot up? Well, then we have until the 17 area, and then we can, even if we're very lucky, we can go to the 24. So there are plenty of possibilities. If it's gonna be short squeeze, volume is gonna step in, we can shoot high. But keep in mind, these are all clear resistance levels. This is a bag holders chart, so we see a clear resistance levels. So my job is now to figure out, hey, what are we going to do? How is the price gonna respond to this key level? So I'm just looking here, will we have a breakout above the 6 area or will we just sell off? I don't know yet. That's what I'm looking for at this particular ticker. Now let me see. Rejection, these highs is for me a clear indication, hey, this is actually confirmed a key level. So if we can have volume, shoots up, then I will just treat this as a breakout, and then who knows how high we can jump off. But what is ended up happening, so we're playing with that level, and I'm still waiting around the 8 area. Will we reject the 8 or will we break out? Here clearly below we see here volume is tremendously coming in and we're rejecting. Now if more volume comes in, that would be even more interesting. Looking there, will something happen? This is interesting, this sea of green, and we don't see clear resistance. So this would be actually a great long, but immediately we get, I was waiting a bit hesitant, and immediately we get slammed down and the price is not following. Price is not following for the squeeze. So we're not squeezing, and at this point still not certain. And ooh, do we get a squeeze? I'm still looking for my longs. Still looking for the long here. A little bit of, not too much, but we never reach. So we are on a daily, like, look very clearly, we are at the daily resistance level. We get here. We try to break out, we cannot break out. This is such a beautiful thing. We cannot break out, and I'm checking something. Oh, this is interesting. Here is probably a moment I would have get in long. And what am I doing? I'm still waiting, I'm still not certain. For some reason I didn't trust it. In normal circumstances I would have been long here. Today apparently I wasn't. I did not take my long entry. Why am I not long yet? Why didn't I trust it? I would have been long here normally a long time ago. I'm surprised that I'm typing my passport because apparently I was not logged on. That's not something that should have happened. But yeah, normally I would have had a long here, and I would have been long in this situation in usual circumstances. So what I was doing right now is I was testing my hotkeys. There was something wrong with my hotkeys, so I had to just check them. And right now you see me buying 1 share and selling again 1 share. Shorts on buying 1 share. This doesn't count as a trade. This is such a beautiful circumstances. We have here this clear resistance area. Any squeeze is a beautiful squeeze for me to move higher. Now it's now rejecting these highs. I'm waiting for that squeeze for a long to take my long setup. In the meantime, this was a trade that I was talking about previously. I missed my ideal entry. That was here. We see here volume. As a result, I'm just doing smaller size, lower, and I'm setting my other orders for the trade because I missed my entry. And what I'm expecting here, I'm on a price here to pick up these shares and some other shares. And in the meantime, I'm still monitoring. And obviously I'm happy that I did not jump the gun here. What I'm now actually still looking at, if we get some volume down, if we have a clear indication, hey, we give up, then I might get it in a short as well. But today I was very patient. This is another stock, SDST, but I don't know if I should have traded this stock because it's below $0.50. It's truly a micro stock and commissions are quite intensive. It's worth it if it truly squeezes, but if not, then not. There's another stock that I'm watching for a possible squeeze, but here also I added, this is also so funny. I had here my position to add, never reached here. Now I did take the trade on SDST. The daily chart doesn't look too promising, but the intraday was quite good. So I'm looking here, we see the squeeze, we don't see big resistance, bam, I go long here. Yes, that was a bit too late. I should already been in there a while ago. That's the thing, I should have used my hotkeys instead of buying off the chart. Again, pre-market, we never filled my resistance level. Now in this new resistance area, we have this volume candle, we break down and I add it to the short and I will take half of the table exactly at that spot. Very well done. And then we're looking further, where will it end up? Okay, what ended up happening with SDST? If we look here, I entered here at this break, then it didn't work. I was a bit too busy with my hotkeys, so I ended flat when I did not want to be flat. Then we broke out. We had here then a bunch of green, no resistance. Half of it I take off the table. Maybe I hope it's not the best word, but I hope it goes more. I hope it squeezes upwards. This is also what happening. I see here some more resistance and I want to add into confirmation. I love to add into strength. Now the strength was a bit giving up. So I added here in this position, didn't work. Then I take my position off the table. Now if strength come back in again, I will just add again and play the same game until it works or it doesn't work, until I have a clear confirmation where the stock is going. So that's soon what you see me doing. Yes, and yeah, I added again. Then didn't really work, didn't find confirmation. And then later the stock is just selling off and I have to stop out. SONN, my TP got triggered. Hallelujah, beautiful. So that's already a winning trade, but I will now manage my position for SONN. So in the meantime, it's interesting what's happening now. Looking at these highs. Okay, volume's getting in there. I still don't know what will happen. I'm looking for a possible squeeze. So I'm checking the daily chart. Hey, where are we? What can we expect? And bam, we squeeze upwards. And what happened? For some reason, I don't trust this stock on the long side. I'm surprised that I didn't trust it on the long side. Either way, here below you see this bunch of volume accumulating and we are rejecting this key level. Now, if we stay here above this key level, then it will be very interesting for a long squeeze to go from here until Tokyo. But we're rejecting, I see the volume accumulating and I respect here these key levels. So now I'm short in the trade. This was working out beautifully. And then I set up my 2 stop loss areas. Root reach here 10.2. I will take half of the table. If it reaches my full, it comes to new high, I'll just take everything off the table. Simple as that. And in the meantime, I also set my other profit targets for SONN, that trade, where I should possibly get out. Now what ended up happening, my first TP here is right below VWAP. This is working out here beautifully, and then I had to take half of the table as a stop loss. Again, when the trade goes against me, I'll take off the table. When it goes in my direction, I add to my position. That's quite simple as it is. I did move my stop loss a little bit, no worries, and then I had to, well, take it off the table. Now this is a thing, pre-market my stop loss order doesn't work. I have to manually put limit orders and I don't have really a clear plan where to re-enter. Okay, it's always possible that at this low we create here a new low and then we can break down, but so far I'm a bit clueless now. We're halting upwards. My stop loss just got triggered. It's like you have to wait for the setups that you want to play. Though I have lost the most amount of money, it's just when I try to do things and I'm uncertain, it's like, no, I know my clear setups, and you only play those setups if you're gonna try to play everything, or you're just shooting yourself in the foot. Now today I have just traded 3 tickers and I'm quite up for the day. I will show you the exact P&L of every ticker. And my stop loss is exactly at above the highs. If there's a new reason that it gets triggered, then I still can look for a squeeze upwards. There's always a possibility my stock get triggered and we can go higher, and then still that's gonna be a beautiful trade. And also on this particular stock for MGRM, I did not end up trading it, but I'm looking here at these lows, and if we can break these lows with volume, then we can move down. That's another ticker that I might be interested. And I'm looking here at these lows. Now for some stocks this type of order doesn't work, for some stocks it does. What I'm actually here trying to do is, if we flush, now we see a bunch of red, and I want to see a bunch of red below my key level, and then it's for me a clear indication I have to short. Now my stop order disappeared. I've sometimes, especially this type of stop orders, for when we go to the key level, a bunch of red and we flush down, I'm in there. If it's not a flush, no worries, I just get out of there. But I want to be in the flush, but sometimes with certain type of stocks my stop order just gets cancelled. I think it's when SSR gets triggered. No problem. If it doesn't work, I will just enter in manually. I want to see here now some volume here below the key level. Do I have some indication that I want to get in there? I'm not jumping the gun, just waiting for the perfect timing. And is it work? And let's wait what I'm ended up doing. So right now I would probably consider entering. Want to see some, yep, I see the red. I'm doing my order in there. Bam, got triggered beautifully in there. And now I'm managing my trade, where to place a stop loss and whatnot, and where's my profit target. So now my profit target will be here at when I reach basically 10 hours. I will take half of the table here at $5. Now, one clear thing here is also I have my P&L hidden, and I do that on purpose. I don't trade well with my P&L open, because the problem is, if I see my P&L, I'm just focusing only on my P&L because I want to end up at the highest note. And as a review, it's always fun to see the P&L fluctuate, but when I'm trading, I have to focus on the market and not the money. Let me see if something else is interesting, because I'm now just looking at my watch list, looking at the potential stocks on the scanner. Is there something else interesting? And in the meantime, I'm still looking, like I said before, I add to strength or this time weakness. I'm short in the market, so it can break this low with new volume. I will add to my position. That's quite simple. I will keep on trading until 11 o'clock. After 11 o'clock, exceptions apply, just to keep my mind sharp again. So what I saw here, we had here a volume sold off with weakness, so I added to my position, and now I'm managing my stop losses. So I've already 3 stop losses. Like I said before, when the trade goes against me, I take position off the table, trade goes in my direction, I add to confirmation. And I'm just looking how these things work out. So again, the position went a bit against me, so I took that off the table. And again, if we see again some weakness, I will add into the position. That's quite simple. We're looking for that weakness. We saw the weakness. We even see a blue bar on the better volume. That's for me also. And as I said, again, my take profit targets, but beautifully, I have my whole stop loss triangle there. Well, let's fast forward. What will happen? And we beautifully reach my first profit target, and then I have a second profit target where I would again take half of the table. Now it's 11 o'clock and my official stop trading time. Now I want to show you then the exact stocks I traded, because I think it's maybe easier to see the full picture in the end. When you trade, you don't have that luxury, but the full picture in the end makes it seem all way easier. So here's the first stock. We have here this resistance. Volume is coming in here. We cannot ignore this. So I'm looking here, volume. We have here my resistance. I wanted to add it here more to my position for the short side. Didn't end up reaching. Then I added here in this confirmation, took some profits here, and then when the position went against me, I was taken off the table, got stopped out right here. What ended up happening, we got squeezed out, short squeeze. There's a solid argument to be made to enter my short like around here, this view up rejection, I really wasn't comfortable. Obviously things make always sense in hindsight. Well, boohoo me. Here was another possibility. Here's very clear. We see here the pre-market lows becomes a support area and it breaks down with volume very cleanly. So I shorted, took half of the table at around the 940s area, and I still have a little bit of my position close out tomorrow morning before the market even opens. I want to get to these lows here, the daily lows, to get out of my position fully. If we gap up a little at the 1149 area, then obviously I will just stop out, no question about that. This is the other trade I took. Here is here a clean break. So I entered here. This was a little bit of a mess. This was not too clean. Should have left a little bit more on the table, but then my entry was here very clean. Took half of the table, looked for a bigger squeeze, never ended up happening. Yeah, just took everything off the table when it didn't go my direction. And then we have the last stock of the day that I traded. Very beautiful. This rejection ended up working perfectly. I'm surprised with how well this worked. And then my ads were perfectly. Usually if I would have missed this initial entry, it is always beautiful, then I would start building my position here at the break of these lows where my first ad is. That's it. And then let's look at the profits for each trade. So for this gigantic move, I'm up $226 and I'm up for today $240, which is exceptionally good for my account and my risk. Keep in mind, I'm risking $10 or $15 a trade. When my account size will get bigger, I will risk more, but this was it for today. See you tomorrow.